playa o si te antoja del sol. Yo me vuelvo un astronauta y enseguida te lo doy. Yo me vuelvo un astronauta y enseguida te lo doy. Porque tú me gustas tanto que solo de ti seré. Porque tú me gustas tanto que solo de ti seré. Pídeme lo que tú quieras, que siempre te lo daré. Pídeme lo que tú quieras, que siempre te lo daré. Ajá. Hey, yeah. Que te lo doy, te lo doy, te lo doy.
Yeah. This is another podcast, and I'm your gracious host, Moma, and this is my co-host.
Rude boy.
And we're back again after a bit of a hiatus, and we're about to drop that knowledge on you lot again. So yeah, Rude boy, what's going on up in the Arctics?
The boy done feisty, man. Feisty. It's not Arctic, it's called
The
Canada.
snow caps.
Canada. No snow here yet, and the T-dot today was about 15 degrees Celsius. I don't know what it is for you guys in your Fahrenheit business. What's 15 degrees Celsius?
That's like that's 30 plus 30, 60
60, yeah,
degrees.
so yeah, that's, good weather. I raked some leaves and cut the grass and all that nonsense today, but yeah, without further ado, let's the travel show. This is the travel show. Two youths trying a ting, and my man Moma just came back from a trip, so I'm curious to hear all the grimy details. So Mo, why don't you tell us where you went and how was it?
I went to the Dominican Republic, which is seems to be a favorite stop for a lot of Americans. It's easy to get to, especially if you live on the East Coast. It's not that expensive to get there, and they're familiar with Americans or North Americans. You do need Spanish really to enjoy yourself, but there's people that go there without it and they manage. So I went there and I went to the capital, Santo Domingo. I wanted to go and I wanted to experience the real Dominican Republic so that I could speak on the country, you know what I'm saying, and speak on it with conviction. A lot of people might say, well, you know, oh, Santo Domingo is one way and something's the other way, but I feel that, if you've done Santo Domingo, you can say that you've done at least, and I'm being very modest here, at least 60% of the Dominican Republic culture. You could say you've gotten it from Santo Domingo because that's how the real Dominicans live.
And for those who don't know, Santo Domingo is obviously the capital. How many people live in SD, let's say?
Um, you could say 7 million. I don't know, but I'm just gonna guess and say one could say 7 million.
7 million in the capital or the country?
I want to say 7 million, in the capital. How
Oh,
many
wow.
people in the is it? I'm just speculating. I'd have to really go online and see, but
Sure.
it was a lot of people there. Let me do a quick search. How many people live in Santo Domingo? I'm sometimes thinking, okay, my bad. It's saying, well, they're saying in 2010 there was 3.8 million people there.
Oh, wow.
So,
It's
I
a
mean, it's a
major
big
city, eh?
island. Yeah, it's not a small island by any means. You know what I'm saying? It's combined, with Haiti, so you've got Haitians who, try and stick in there. So if you add all that together plus Dominicans, it's a big island. It's one of the biggest in the Caribbean after Cuba. So definitely can host that amount. But saying in 2010 it was, 3.8 million. So I guess 7 million was a bit too much. So let's call it roughly um let's say 4 million just to be on the safe side. They're saying the surrounding
Sure.
metropolitan area. So if you just talk about the Santo Domingo area code, call it over 1 million.
Okay, okay. Before we get into your trip, since you did mention Haitians and you know on the news recently we were hearing there's a lot of conflict going on down there. Did you encounter any of that, or do you know what that is about? Or I mean, can you give us a on the ground report on that? Do you care to comment on that?
I didn't see anything there. There wasn't, anything. This lizard that I piped, she kind of looked Haitian to me. Not that I know, but the average Dominican, and this might be naivety from me. They have this beige look, like there's something in them, and they don't all have that 100% black, if you know what I mean. Like there's a touch of Indian, Caribbean Indian in them,
Of course, yeah,
that kind of brings the complexion to a medium. So if they're dark skin or they just look like, a West African, then I would tend to say they're I asked one, I said, "Are you Haitian?" She's like, "No, I'm not. I'm Dominican 100%, but I have no issue with Haitian." So it doesn't seem that overtly there was any issues going on. So that thing might be more on a political level rather than, the regular general population. I didn't see any grievance. And again, obviously I don't speak the language, so there's going to be things that gloss over me, but you can tell from vibes, and I didn't get any vibes as to anything. There's a lot of more darker skinned people in Boca Chica, but it could be darker Dominicans, I think, because black is black. So me saying beige doesn't mean that if you're not beige, you're not Dominican.
for sure, for sure. Okay, so give us the specifics. How many nights?
I was there for 4 nights.
Okay, and how
I You're gone.
airfare? Like how it's pretty close to you, no? How
Yeah, it's like you could do it for 300 if you pick it early. I did it like in less than a week, so it looked like four, and then there's a certain time I wanted to go, so it ended up being five, like just over five. But it's cheap. Like from me, it could be three. Like you could do it for three, and people blow $300 on crap. So
sure?
you can do DR definitely without breaking the budget.
Uh,
Accommodation, you
Flight
could
time. What's the flight time? Say from.
it should be 3 hours, but I didn't go direct. I just took what I took. So I stopped off in Panama,
Oh
which
wow.
is another Spanish speaking place. So I was just working on my Spanish, getting it all right. They didn't look too hot in Panama from my glance. The hotness started to improve when I got to DR. So I think they've got the monopoly on sexy in the Caribbean for sure.
Agreed, agreed. Okay, and you were saying accommodations?
One could do, I guess you mentioned Airbnb before. One could do that. I was concerned if I'm staying with someone if I wouldn't be allowed to bring lizards inside. I didn't want any issues with that. I want to be able to roll them through. So on advice from some, members, I decided to go the hotel route. And I was willing to, go a certain route. I had a little budget in mind, not wanting to go over, let's say, $80 at the most. But, ideally the 50 to 70 range was what I was looking for. But I was pleasantly pleased to find a place that was much cheaper, and I had no issues with the place. It was clean, it was ideally located. Water pressure in the rooms were good. It was walking distance from, local eateries, and it costs much less than I anticipated. So I was very happy about that.
Was this a tourist area or more of a residential area?
It was. It seemed like it was. It seemed like it was like tourists if you know how to speak Spanish, because it wasn't like you go there and people are like, oh, I speak English. Like I'm going out and I'm willing to speak Spanish. I'm willing to learn, but I didn't get any feel that I'm like, oh, I'm in the area. I was walking distance away from. I was in Zona Colonial and I was walking distance away from El Conde.
Okay, Zona Colonia. Yeah, I've heard of that. Where's the university? Close by or no?
Maybe I didn't go there. I'm
Oh,
not sure
okay.
if there's I didn't get the chance to go, but I guess there should be one close by. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. All right. And you want to give a shout out to your man on the ground down
Yeah, shout out to, I'm saying the driver. Driver was helpful, very helpful. Hooked me up with that cheap hotel. Pitt, I'm saying Pitt was very helpful as well. Pitt, Pitt knows the place like the back of his hand. In my opinion, he's really lived. He could write a book about. I'm saying he's living like a Dominican. Like I went to his place. I'm like, damn, this say. I'm saying you are. Oh my goodness! It reminded me of Nigeria. I was just like, oh, it's just like it was more like a cooler, calmer version of Nigeria.
there? Wow.
But Pitt was in the mix. Like Pitt ain't doing no like bougie bullshit. He can give you the lowdown. So shout out to Pitt.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So yeah, tell us what did you do? Did you hit the gym? Did you just relax? Did you game 24/7?
Yeah, just went out and just tried to get a feel of the real island. Hit up the mall. Went to the beach the next day. Got some food in different places. So I went to the beach in Boca Chica. Got a massage on the beach. Nothing, no rub and tug special, just
Oh,
regular.
damn, damn.
No, no, those chicks weren't rub and tug worthy. I was just like, nah,
Okay.
not wasting my valuable semen on that. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
So, but they had firm, strong hands, so they were able to work out my tensions. So yeah, I just really went to see the real place, just to go around and get that feel of the place, like from a non-tourist perspective, because I knew game and stuff is gonna be easy, and but you need to do it honestly. You need Spanish, or you're gonna get gringo hunters, right?
For sure.
Which,
For sure.
yeah, so if you don't have Spanish, you're gonna need longer. If you're going that quickly with no Spanish, the likelihood is less. And I wasn't really going like that because I knew at any moment. There's a time we went into this spot. The guy was like, "Come into this place." It was some kind of, I don't know if it was a strip club or something, but we went in there, and it was like me and Pitt went in there, and it was like at least, I'm gonna say like 10 chicks. They would all stood up and lined up. I was thinking to myself, they were looking and winking. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I felt like Prince Hakeem and Coming to America, man. Like it was just a lineup. Like I've never, like like and these are fine. Just the way they just lined. I was just like, damn, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I mean, we just kind of looked around and we left, but I was just like, damn, that experience. Like, you don't get that here, even if you go to a place like that, if that makes sense. Like, it was like there was just an extra edge. Like, we were some kind of, like if you're P. Diddy. So, those who want to know what it's like being Hugh Hefner and all that,
Yeah.
go there and you'll know what it's like.
Well,
I mean, I mean,
newsflash.
regardless,
I think you're in a brothel, bro.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But even if I've never been to one
Yeah.
here, but I can't imagine if they just lined up like they were literally chilling, sitting down, just kicking it, and they all formed the line and they were looking, and I'm just like, damn, it's almost like they're lined up for us. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like there was no one else in there but us. You know what I'm saying? So that was
Yeah.
interesting. We didn't do nothing. We left and then we went to the casino. to see if you can spit some game. But yeah, there's enough girls there. There's women everywhere. So and as some said, a lot of them are not doing much, especially on the lower socioeconomic scale. So you come there and take them to dinner, offer to take them to dinner, go for a drink. Yeah, why not? Because they ain't really doing much. You know what I'm saying? So it's 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 just in your favor.
And I think in a text you were saying they're quite feminine as opposed to North American woman. You say they're masculine. What was the reference? You used a pretty good reference there. Was it masculine like a Clint Eastwood movie or something?
Like a dirty Harry or something, man.
Dirty
Like
Harry,
flipping
yeah,
some
man.
Robert Redford chicks out there, man. Out
Oh
here, should
man.
I say? Nah, yeah, they're feminine. I think it's just the Latin culture, and when some people when they're used to that, you can't. It's difficult to go back. It's like if you've had good steak, or good. I say steak, just a good quality gourmet meat, and then someone comes and throws you some tough junk food. You're not gonna feel.
Corned beef, spam.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're just not gonna feel the same
Satisfied.
because yeah,
Mhm.
the difference, and they're just feminine, whether they look good or not. And I think femininity is something internal that it's like game. The same way masculinity is like game. If you've got people who've come from masculine places, they never, if you never felt that you're nothing, no matter what you look like, it's really not going to change your outlook because life is based on outlook. So I'm saying if you feminine, even if she's her face ain't all that or she's carrying a little something something, the way she conducts herself raises several points on where you may have classified her. So you may have looked at her and said, that's a 4. But if she moves a certain way, you might upgrade that to a 6. And then you might have an 8.5 here. And if they go on masculine, all sitting with their legs open, smoking, drinking beer with a husky voice, you might downgrade that all the way to like a 5.5.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
know
now suddenly the
exactly what you mean.
4 has bypassed the 8, you know what I'm saying, just on behavior.
Yeah, no, I know. I've been there. I know exactly what you. That's a excellent point. I've been there. I've dated girls like that where at first you think, the face or whatever isn't this, but the way they treat you, the femininity, and it just boosts them right up to 6 or 7, or like you said, it boosts them up to the 8 level. And yeah, no, I've been there, and you find that with a lot of, I guess, my experience, Eastern European women. But I guess Dominican Republic, pretty much the same thing, right? So
Yeah, like every person I encounter, like I just remember in the airport, this woman was just like the woman that kind of tells, like, if you're going to the line, if you're a Dominican or if you're a tourist, and she was just like she had resting her hand on me, just the way she did it. And I was just like, wow, the way they just touch you here, you just feel, you know what I'm saying? You feel at ease. Like you just feel an energy about them. Like they're not on no Aggie vibes. You know
Aggie,
what I'm
what's
saying?
Aggie?
Aggie is just like it's a London thing where you're just aggressive. You're just agitating, aggravating
Oh,
type
okay,
of
aggro.
person. You just yeah, like you just like you say something and then the person just like, what do you mean by that? What you trying to say? And it's just like, why are you making something that wasn't even that into something? So they'll not make something into that, and even if you have beef, they will downgrade the beef just on a good vibe, and you'll feel like, you know what, I'm being silly right now. Like ain't even that deep. You know what I mean? So it's just that whole energy, like it's something that one has to experience. It's not something that those who experience it will know what I'm saying, but those who don't, the only thing you can do to understand is to go. When you get it, you'll get it because it's intangible, and you have to experience it to understand what I'm saying. So yeah, just get yourself a ticket, get your passport in order, which isn't that hard, and go there and you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yep.
How was So were there any highlights? I mean, you did send me some pictures of some Norwegian girls who were kind of cute, I will say.
Yeah, the brunette was cute. The blonde was hungry. Looks like she was, out to get her notches. The same way a guy is out to like get his flag. She
Mm-mm.
said that um she'd been to the Gambia before, and it reminded me of what you said. If a chick travels a lot, they're out for meat. And what's she going to Gambia for?
Gambia, like Gambia, Africa.
Right. So she's like,
Damn.
oh, you guys, African or something. She said that after a while. She's like, oh, I've been to Gambia. And she's like, I like Jamaica for the weed. I'm like, oh, you've been Jamaica. So she's doing all these black countries. Sorry,
Mm-mm.
to our white listeners, but this one is, this one has been claimed by the black claw. So
But
she's gone.
did you
She's go-
did you go to a travel agency? Excuse me, could I get a flight to Zambia? I mean, Norway to Zambia. I mean, that is like, I mean, that's at least two stopovers. You know what I mean? Zambia, Jesus Christ.
No, not Zambia, Gambia. The
Gambia, sorry,
Gambia.
sorry,
Same
sorry,
shit really, to be
sorry,
honest. I mean, if
sorry.
you're in Africa, you're in Africa. It's just that's what it is. That's
Yeah,
black land. You know what I'm saying?
Black
She
land.
wasn't going there for Europeans, that's for sure.
Wow.
And just keeping it real. She wasn't she didn't strike me. She went there for um schooling or some kind of, aid services. She just went there just to travel. So,
On a
you know,
holiday.
yeah, that's the
Damn.
vibe, I was getting, in the way she was moving around in the Dominican Republic. Definitely suggests that she's out there to, notch it up.
Wow. But did you notch it up though?
Nah, I don't. It has to be a real layup, because when if I go somewhere, if I'm going to Europe, then yes, but the way my head is, I'm a little stubborn. I might just go for the only black lizard in the entire Europe, and people be like, "Why did you come here and do that?" That's kind of how I am. But I'm not gonna go to Dion and look for white lizards. Last time I went, I could have had a chance, but I wasn't really pushing for it. There was a lizard from Ottawa that was gagging for it, and all I had to do was a little, what do you call it, sleight of hand, and it would have been a beat for sure. But I was like, nah, I'm trying to make all my deposits in the Dominican Republic, so no. And to her, no. Her friend was kind of was no, her friend was cute. The brunette, and the brunette was fluent in Spanish. Had spent a year in Argentina, so she could speak fluent Spanish. The blonde spoke zilch Spanish, had a British accent, and was just out to have fun.
Yeah, the brunette was very attractive. Very attractive.
Yeah, she was, and we took them to we bounced them from this upscale venue that they were at. We went to another venue that was in the casino. And the good thing about DR as well, that you lot listeners may like, is admission to clubs are free. So we went to an upscale club. People had their, few Range Rovers, a couple of BMWs, some Honda Accords or Honda Civics as well. And bear in mind, listeners, that this is a third world country. So you lot might be thinking, oh, it's a BMW Range Rover. This is a third world country. So that, and these were pretty clean, fresh, let's say, I might say 2012. They look like 2012 year. And for a third world country, I thought that was decent. These look like clean whips, because some of the whips I saw there, I saw whips older than a lot of you lot. These were 1982 Toyotas,
Mm-mm.
and all you saw was toy on the back. Like the Ota was gone. The Ota left like in 91. The Ota was like, I'm out. And
The-
Toy left was, what I'm saying, Toy stayed behind. So
oh
if
man.
you bear that in mind, then definitely those are a step up. But the point I'm making is that admission is free. So you could go to any club, upscale, hood club, and it was free. So at least you can save your money on cabinet there, and drinks inside the club. So that's a little caveat for you lot listening. You don't have to pay no entrance fee for no club there.
And the drinks are cheap, right?
Yeah, 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 they're cheap, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, try and get your Spanish in order if you come down and say, excuse me, how much is let me get a rum. The cat's always gonna try and add that, but if you hit them up with a something, puedo, anejo, gran anejo, por favor. Just stern, like order. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Your por favor has to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, señor, puedo, gran anejo. Yeah,
Mm,
see, they might think, oh, he's just some scruffy Haitian, whatever. Or if you're really white, then they're just like, okay, he's, you know what I'm saying? But try and speak the Spanish, or your prices are going to be different. But regardless, it's still going to be cheap. The beers can't have been more than $2 for like Heineken. Me and Pitt got a little Heineken, sat back, nursed that, and just eyed up the talent, man. So it was good, man. It's good.
wow. And with the car things, you were saying petrol, or I guess for the North Americans, gasoline is expensive down there, right?
Yeah, it was like almost $4 a gallon, which is a lot, period, but much more for someone living there who gets paid tuppence, right? So kind of keep that into consideration, I guess, when if you do hire a driver, bear in mind that the petrol is expensive and so on and so forth. So, try and do them right in terms of that at least.
For sure, for sure. Tell us about the traffic jam. You're telling me about the traffic jam, the people crossing the street and all craziness.
Yeah, they're just the traffic jam is just general traffic. It's just like people just moving. I don't know if it's all third world countries are like that, or just um, major capitals, but it was like, like the traffic in Lagos. Um, just the looks are different, but yeah, just people just driving real close to each other, lizards dashing across the road, real calm, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one lizard's walking, she's got her headset in, got a dress on, vroom, cars like close. You look in her face, there's no like, oh shit, you almost hit me. It's just more like, mm, you know what I'm saying? So
A
I was
daily
looking, I was
daily
like,
walk, eh?
yeah, daily walk, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like you have a chicken, in Toronto or something, and she's, it's a day off, so she decides to go to, like, I don't know, Ryerson Park or something. Yeah, it's like she's like, oh, I'm just gonna go for a little walk today and just feed the ducks. That kind of calmness on the face, that serenity. It was just proper serenity. I was just looking, I was like, wow. We went to Boca Chica, and some Rasta Dominican, I say Rasta dread on a little motorbike, and we just was like close, like almost like look like look like you're gonna clip him, but you feel you don't. It's just how the way people drive, and my man's face is just indifferent. Like there was no like shit. You almost got me. It's just a faith in the chaos. you know,
Wow.
faith in the face of chaos. So faith in the face of chaos. That's what I would call it.
And I guess someone posted a recent travel report, and they suggested renting a car is not advised. Would you agree?
Yeah, like I'm not good with that type of driving. You know what I'm saying? I can drive well, but it's just I was watching to see how the guy drove, and it's you just have to have a feel for the place, because people are changing lanes. You don't know when they're gonna change lanes, so you're just looking, and then you have to make your change. So you just have to understand how they move and how they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those, and they beep, and you're beeping the horn just to let someone know that you're coming through. It's not really a horn and like, oh, like, move out the way. What's wrong with you? It's more of a horn like here you might flash your lights to say, come out mine out the lane, I'm moving a little quicker than you are, and you kind of move forward. So the horn is more of a just, hey, excuse me, I'm coming through.
No importa de que se
You
antoje,
know what I
yo
mean?
siempre
So
para ti tendré. No
that's
importa lo que se antoje.
that's just how it is. So I wouldn't recommend driving a car unless you're coming from Nigeria or Jamaica. If that's you're going straight from there to DR, then yeah, go ahead, rent a car. But if you're coming from the west, no.
Yeah, kind of like some New York City driving, right?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it make, yeah, I can hear you. It makes New York City just look like Maine, like some country lane in Maine, man. It's wild. It's really wild.
Wow.
Re- Really wild.
Wow. So, your takeaway, I guess? Any positive takeaways?
Yeah, it's all positive, man. Like I have no regrets. I'm trying to write up what I went through. I don't have any regrets. There's nothing where I'm like, if someone's like, oh, if you could have changed something, what would you have changed? Like, there's nothing that I feel I should have done differently. Like, everything worked out, exactly how I hoped it would. I was, speaking a lot of Spanish. I had a driver that couldn't speak English, so it forced me to speak Spanish. I beat one lizard that I hollered at from the road because it's like end of my last night, and I said, you know what? Not sure if I'm gonna get a one nighter because it looks like you got the SNL thing's not really. It's more of a the SNL. It's more of a SDL than a SNL. So for those who don't get it, SDL would be same day lay. So you chat to something in the afternoon and you're like, yo, link me in the evening, and you could get it like that. But to pull her from the club, no, because she's got to go home. She may be living with someone. She might have a youth. She might have a kid. You know what I'm saying? So she has to take care of her. She's staying with her mom, so she can't really go home with you like that. So that's not really the culture from what I saw. But you could get the next day after, or if you holler at them from road, you pull that in that evening and beat that, and then she goes home and handles her kid or her responsibilities. So, it was coming to the end, and I was like, damn, let me see what's up. And then I was got text saying, oh, we saying you like this chick, and I'm like, saying let's see what she's saying. And then one next one I spoke to in the lobby that was in lingerie, and called her up to my room. She came to my room a little later, and she's like mentioning price, and I was like, I'm getting the vibe. From the lingerie, I was thinking, okay, I don't think you're just a regular chick. So she's like, rare, 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 and I'm like, nah. She's like, something $100. I was like, no, no, no. She said 80. I said no. She said 70. I said no. 60. I said nah, nah, pay for it.
How far down did she
So
go?
I was just like, nah. Huh?
No, how far
Sorry, what was
down did
that?
she go? What price did she go down to? Anyways, go ahead. Doesn't matter.
She stopped at 60. She was like 60. I said, nah. I said, I might, I'm saying I'm going to drop like maybe 20 on you, 10, 20. That's it. 20 tops. I think that's reasonable because I'm like thinking 20, that's like me taking you out to dinner and a drink. But this way, I don't even have to listen to your crap kind of thing. Not promoting that stuff, but I'm just doing the little mathematics. So I just said 20 is what I would think, that's my appetizer. The people say, no, you're not buying them the appetizer. And I'm like, some people like, oh, stop being cheap on the appetizers. So I'm like, that's my budget. 20 is my thing. She's like, no, rare, rare, rare. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So she gave me a kiss on the cheek, and she was about her way. And it was cool. She had a nice feminine vibe. Funny thing is, I bounced into her in the club later on that after that night because I seen her in the casino, me and Pitt, and I got a good eye for her. She was dressed up, and I saw her, and she looked at me. She didn't say nothing. I was just like, oh, small city, isn't it? We meet again, but Cause she's like, oh, she's got to work outside of the city, this and that. Like, oh, this you work outside the city. It looks like you're in a casino in the same city. But when you've heard enough lies in North America, you don't. There's nothing really phases you. It's more like tell your story. But yeah, bottom line is, I said no. She left. There was another chick I was talking to that was talk about massage. I said I don't want to know massage. I had one the other day, but I wouldn't mind getting something else massage. And she smiled. I got her number. I called her. It didn't go through. And then she was like, "Call me back." Called her back. It didn't go through. And I was like, "Cool." And I hollered at another one. So I hollered at like two on the road, and the next one came through. And this one was more cooperative, so I beat that. And she asked for um, money for the bus. I think it was like 25 cents. It's 25 pesos, which works out to about 50 cents.
Wow.
So I gave her, I scratched up some coins because I'm not gonna be able to do anything with these coins here. I've still got a few of them. So I gave her that, and she was, because she was there and she was this, and then she brought me things out. She's, I'm saying, playing with them and chatting and licking, and I'm just standing there looking at her, and I'm like, nah, I said, nah, I pay for nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just there, and she's, what I'm saying, but some of these chicks, if they've gone that far, I guess they've gone too far to go back. Maybe. So I beat that and sent her on her way and had a nap. And I saw a missed call from Pitts. I hollered. He's like, "Yo, them Norwegian lizards, what you saying, bruv?" So I said, "You know what? I'm leaving the next day." So I put my stuff on, held a quick fresh, flung my shoes on. Quick fresh means I had a shower, put my clothes on and my shoes, and I went out, met up with Pitt, and we cabbed it over to these lizards and hung out with them for the evening. But they're kind of lame in the sense that their energy was a little different, and Pitt ain't really chasing them like that. He was more on a layup thing, and they weren't offering the layup, so we just let it be, and we're about our way. And I'd already deposited, so I wasn't really on a hunger tip, right?
Definitely, definitely.
So that was it. Yeah. All right. So that's about it. Do you have any other questions or any additions you wish to add to this, Rude Boy?
Nope, nope. We'll call that part one of the travel show, and then we'll come back with part two. And we have some questions that people wanted answered, so we can do that in part number two.
Great, great, great. Well, definitely. Well, it's been a pleasure once again. Thank you for the listenership, for those listening, and that's it. Two youths trying a ting. Your gracious host, Moma, signing off, and
Rude boy signing out. Peace.
yeah, all right, peace. Later.